Hi you guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Patience. To my existing subscribers, welcome back. If this is your first time here, be sure to click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can continue to indulge in the Hot Bella experience. In today's video, I am going to be showing you guys how I created this all matte look using the Warrior 2 palette from Juvia's place. This is a palette that I picked up during my mega holiday haul. So I've had this now for over a month and I have not yet used it, but I was watching a video from On the Go with Miko and she created this gorgeous halo eye using this palette. And I remembered all of a sudden, I was like, you know, I have this palette and I have not used it yet. So I used watching her video as my excuse to pull this palette out and create this gorgeous look today. Juvia's Place is an indie brand and they offer cruelty-free products, and their products are full of pigmentation and the formulas are very soft and buttery, and this is a gorgeous palette. As I said, it's all matte and the shades are absolutely beautiful. I also used the Coffee and Cocoa palette from Beauty Bakerie in today's look. This was my first time using this palette as well, and this palette is very beautiful, and I used one of the shades out of this palette for my contour. All of these shades have a bit of a shimmer in them, so I was a little bit concerned how I was going to be able to use this palette for my bronzer or my contour in this look, but I think it turned out really beautifully. This is another palette or brand that offers really pigmented, rich and buttery products in their palettes, so this is one that you have to be careful with, but it turned out absolutely gorgeous. So if you would like to see how I created this look using both of these palettes, the Warrior 2 palette from Juvia's Place and the Coffee and Cocoa palette from Beauty Bakerie, then keep watching. My face has been moisturized and I'm using the Dr. Brandt's Pores No More Luminizer Primer, and I'm also going to use the P. Louise eyeshadow base to prep my eyelids. And from the Warrior 2 eyeshadow palette, I'm going to start off using the shade Kana as my brow bone highlight. And I'm going to use the shade Haute as my transition shade. And I'm using the shade Jamada in my crease area. And I'm going back into the shade Haute and just blending everything together to soften up any harsh lines that I may have at this point. So far, so good. And now I'm using the shade Walzana, and I'm starting at the outer V and just sweeping this into my crease area, just a little bit more tightly this time around though, but just starting with the outer V and sweeping it into that crease. This shade looks like a deep gray in the pan, but on the skin it looks like it has a little bit of a brownish hue to it, but it's a very pretty shade. A nice smoky look. I like it. I have carved out my lids and I'm using the lightest shade in the Warrior palette, and that's the color Zazz. In the pan, this looks almost white, but not a stark white, but it is the lightest shade in the pan, but it's a very beautiful matte shade. I'm using my MAC 242 brush to pack this shadow onto the larger portion of my lid, and then I'm going in with a smaller packing brush to add in the detail. Using this smaller detail brush really does make this cut crease, or the area where I have applied my concealer, while I'm placing this shadow on top, it really makes it sharp, so I like that. Very pretty. And now I'm going back into Walzana once again, and I'm going to soften up the edges just a little bit. And now I'm using the color Dara to marry the Walzana, which is the darker color on my outer V, and Zazz, the white color or that whitish color on my lid, just to marry those two colors together. I love the way this look has come together, but I decided that I needed to deepen up that outer V just a little bit more. So I'm going to go into the darkest shade in this palette, and it's called Shawada, and I'm going to just stamp this in the outer V of my eye as I would an eyeliner. I'm going to start blending this upward towards my crease with my MAC 242, but then I'm going to switch over and start using a small fluffy brush just to finish this off, or to add this deeper color into the outer V without it taking over the whole entire outer portion of the eye. And now I'm using the color Jamada, and I'm using this just in the area where I placed the Shawada, which is that darker black color. I'm using that just to blend in that dark black color just a little bit more. I love a good matte eye look. I've added liner and lashes, and also my complexion products. And now I'm going to use the Coffee and Cocoa palette from Bakerie for my bronzer, my blush, and my highlight. I'm going to bronze with the shade Anti-Depresso. This is an extremely deep shade, so it was one tap into the pan, and I used whatever product that was on my brush from that one tap for my entire face, for both sides of my face and my forehead. This required a lot of blending in order to make this work. This is such a deep shade. It's a beautiful shade, but very, very deep, and a little does go a long way, so I had to blend for my life. And then I had to blend some more. And then I had to use my beauty sponge just to smooth it all out. It was some work, but it turned out really pretty. And now that I've gotten acquainted with this palette, I had to dip in very lightly because I needed to finish off my face and contour my jawline. Again, one dab in the pan, and that's all I needed. There was enough pigmentation on my brush from that one dab in the pan to contour my entire jawline. Another little dab into the pan, and I'm going to contour my nose. And now it's time for blush, and I'm going to use the shade La Vida Mocha. This shade is very pigmented as well, so it's just one tap into the pan. That's all you need. And I'm using You're Grounded as my highlight shade. This is a very pretty highlighter shade, but it only takes just a little bit. Lovely. And now I'm smoking out my waterline using the shades Shawada and Dara. I'm going to use the shade Kana once again. Kana was the shade that I used as my brow bone highlight, so I'm going to use this in my tear duct as well, just to brighten up those eyes a little bit. And I'm going to use a matte lipstick from MAC, and it's in the color Stone. And we are done. The shadows in the Warrior 2 palette are very pigmented and very blendable. You can also pick this palette up for 40% off at the Juvias Place website. The bronzer and the blush shades in the Beauty Bakerie Coffee and Cocoa palette are very pigmented. However, I think that the Beauty Bakerie palette would work better if you are of a medium to deep skin tone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Bye-bye.